neither, well, myself and I don't think Stasi either knows the results. So we're pretty excited to see how this plays out. So as we jump on into things here, we will be seeing Lapis's Killer making their way in on the Mastermind here with a combination of, I think that's the Lion Medallion and the Beetle. An interesting add-on combination. That's definitely something I've never seen before. The Beetle, of course, the Beetle, it decreases the distance in which you can slam someone whilst also, I guess, increasing the range for you to throw someone. I don't even know how I'd word this add-on. I know what it does, but I can't project it into words.
It's basically once you grab someone, the distance that you actually go is like reduced by about 50%.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it can be a bit of a double-edged sword depending on whether you get the hit or not. Like throwing someone to the edge map with it can be really, really nice. But honestly, it can backfire because if you throw someone and then you would have hit them against a rock, but because you're used to the normal mastermind ranges, it can really mess you up. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes this game. I personally wouldn't recommend taking it, but I would like to see how it's used this game. It'll be an interesting add-on to see. But regardless, we see the Atom taking the first chase on to Coca and will be taking that first hit. Drops Shack Pallet straight away. You got to respect the outside drop as well, but gets put in a little bit of an awkward position here.
Yeah, no, Coca going to be making his way down towards the shack here, taking that first engine nice and early on the side of Lapis's Mastermind here. Going to be revving up that tentacle, but this will be our first down of the trial. I think that was about a minute in, so definitely not a bad start for the Mastermind here. Our friends on Skirmish doing a fantastic job at stealthing out some of this corrupt, but this does mean that we will be losing a bit of pressure on the Survivor side things of here. We do see Ivy able to pop this generator right in the Mastermind's face here and book it with what I believe to be sprint burst straight up towards the top side of the map here. And meanwhile, our Mastermind has decided to ignore them somewhat, making his way all the way up towards the main building here while taking that first hook onto Coke and not too worried about getting some camping in. And it looks like we have caught someone out here at the main building. Is this our Leon? It is. Mito is going to be taking this chase at the God window here, while a second gen pops on the side of Skirmish JP. This is what I like to be seeing.
Yeah, that's right. We do see... Yeah, we see this Leon in chase. Decides actually fake for the window. Does not want to risk the attack. We actually see a miss coming through. And on this Wesker, a huge problem there. Gonna let Leon make some distance, make it back to middle. We see the greed as well. I love it. And we are gonna get that classic bamboozle vault. We are having a little bit of issues here with trying to get this Leon down, but we do get that first hit, making the connection.
Yeah, no, a nice little mind game coming through there from our Mastermind. We're going to be playing around the shack window yet again. Mito likely going to break away back towards this pallet here. We've got some movement coming through, some possible jukes, but there is a bit of dual beetle robbery there, and this chase will be extended even further. I do believe Mito will be able to make this pallet as well, as unlike OCE, JP players often play at around 20 to 30 MS to each other all around there. Tokyo servers are a lot better than our ones down here in Sydney, and of course there is less, I guess, least distance to cover on the side of the servers here. Some nice dashes coming through from our Mastermind, and we will secure our second down of the trial onto Mito, and as a result we have lost our third generator already, but we do have that No Way Out in the background to try and get some end-game hook stages.
Yeah, that's right, definitely. Oh man, Noed's... Wait, Noed? Oh no, you said No Way Out. I was about to say, there's no Noed.
I must have...
Yeah, I do have to respect taking out Wesker, especially considering Wesker is definitely not a killer that you often see huge 4Ks on, but we will see that hit coming in onto Mai here for the first hit of this chase, where we will see Mirror on hook, and the fourth gen pops in the background. A lot of things going on right now. We see Mai running edge map actually decides to zone themselves right to the side of the map. Interesting decision making, but we do see the down coming through there, and hopefully we can get another Scourge hook happening here. That would be huge for this trial, because with this one gen left, wow, that is a really tough gen split to deal with.
Yeah, no, I think May was maybe looking to get as far away from those top gens as possible. Maybe she knows something we don't in terms of survivors pumping away on that main generator. I don't know if 11 would have been being progressed, but I suppose we will find out here as our Mastermind makes their way back up towards the main building here. Catching out Coca on the Atom yet again, going to be getting some loops of that main building in, but that Bamboozle quick to shut down that main window, and Coca will be able to reap the distance as a result all the way over towards this long wall, short wall I believe it was, sorry, as we see our Mastermind dash straight back up towards the top mid of the map here. Making our way back, maybe looking for a possible quick tunnel onto May, but I think we need another pain res as soon as possible on the side of our killer here. We're down to one generator left. We don't have a kill yet. May gonna be spinning the killer. Oh my goodness. That was definitely something I haven't seen in a hot minute here in competitive. That will be the down, however, onto our Claudette. But I don't know. I think maybe they have one of those top gens ready to go. I mean, I'd assume so, at least with the amount of pressure that their gens have been, that have been thus far. I mean, yeah, and there it is. Look at that. The gen's already done, Stasi.
Yeah, that's right. Huge gen pressure by the team, and I love being able to avoid that 3-gen at the start of the game as well. Just really nice communications coming in from Skirmish here. But we do see that 5th gen pops, exit gates are open, ready to rock. The question is, can we get more hook states here? Because No Way Out was instantly procced, so that is going to be a problem. And we only got 3 stacks out of it, so we do miss about 14 seconds of No Way Out. But it won't matter if we can get a fresh hook down here, which I do believe this case is fresh, or at least close to it, where we do see the first hit coming through is going to be able to make it to this window, but Ops against it actually wants to run this little filler here. And yeah, that's going to be a problem. We see Ivy going down here. And we see the heal actually coming off in the background as No Way Out's about to open, so we might be able to just find time for another hook here.
Yeah, no, I mean, our Mastermind's done a pretty good job at clutching this out thus far, but personally, I would definitely try to sit in front of this hook. We're right next to a door. We can try to do something in confirming these final 3 stages that pushes up to a 7 stage, but we are going to be seeing the Mastermind make his way down towards 4. We've got some lingering scratch marks in the area, tipping us off to the fact that there's possibly a survivor nearby. What we don't want it to be is May, because then the survivors are going to be able to get a few extra stages out that door and not cost themselves too much. I do think that was Mito on the Leon. It was. They will be running the shack window here. A nice fake of that window coming through, but it will not pay off. Sadly, our Leon will be eating a health state there, and he, as a result, will be able to break away up back towards this door. Now the question is, are his teammates on this door and ready to escape? It looks like he's vaulted the window, so that's tipping us off to the fact that no, they aren't. Is this a lucky break from our Leon, perhaps trying to lose the killer? We've got some scratch marks. Oh, Life Dance With Me, possibly.
Yeah, I think it was. I do think that because we do see the scratch marks here, so I doubt it was lucky break. But regardless, we see Leon heavily taking chase here, going to look pretty unlikely. But the question is, can he buy time for his teammates to actually get him here while going around the car? We see them coming in the background, but no, they're not going to be able to actually help and make any sort of connection. So we will be seeing Miro here go onto a hook near middle, and the question is, I think the other teammates are just going to decide to leave here. That is really frustrating for the Survivor team, because oh no, Miro second actually. It's not too bad.
Yeah, no, this is, I mean, the same result for our friend, the Mastermind, as to if they just camped Ivy out of the game. Now, we are seeing a reset come through from the survivors of Skirmish JP here. Are they possibly looking for a bit of a save? No, they were just going for the blood points, and now I imagine May will be jumping out that hatch or getting out one of these gates any second now to wrap this trial up. So as we jump on into the end game scoreboard here, a pretty solid game being played out by our survivors of Skirmish here, but of course the killer clapping back after a very rough start and able to push this up to a 7 stage for fresh results, so nothing to scoff at in the slightest. You all know the drill. Will be having an actual very short break before we jump on into the next game, so stay chill. We'll be back at you in hopefully a minute or two. Welcome back on to the second half of the first set of Skirmish versus Lapis here. We're going to be seeing Skirmish's Wesker against the survivors of Lapis. We saw a pretty good win con being set by the survivors of Skirmish last game with a 7 stage for fresh result. So I mean, it'll definitely be pretty hard for the survivors of Lapis, sorry, to try and meet this win condition, especially if the Mastermind from Skirmish knows how to punish the survivors in the right spots. But hey, we've seen crazier things happen, and Lapis are a very long-standing team. They've got some fantastic chemistry and have had some great games in the past, so I'm sure they can manage to rein something back in here as we jump straight on into this game.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see. I don't know whether I really necessarily agree that a 7 stage is a good result. It's respectable, but I think as a Mastermind, you're pretty happy to get like 9 or above. But 7 is definitely something you can play around with the survivors. And it seems like we are having some issues, so it looks like we maybe... Okay, no, apparently we're good to go. So we do see the Meg getting into the first chase of the game, and actually, oh, Coca's so close, but unable to make that connection due to the new window vaulting. And we see Meg doing it again, actually just able to dodge that hit with the help of those crates there. Very nice. No bamboozle to help Coca this chase. We actually see the option to take brutal strength instead of boozle.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that perk choice a lot more than Bamboozle. Brutal Strength can shut down those main building doors, and as a whole, Mastermind against good survivors is not going to be able to get a hit on most of the pallets in the game, or at least in a respectable amount of time. But we do see Coca struggling a little bit to get this first hit onto our Meg here. The Meg doing a very good job at juicing it up, but that will be our first tag coming through against her. And Coca sitting in a pretty good spot already, but they are running straight into the corrupted generators. But as a flip side, this is the KL3 gen that our friend Coca can play around towards the late game if he so desires. His tunneling is definitely his option here if he wants to try and 4K this for Skirmish JP. A very ambitious swing for that window, sadly, will not be connecting onto our Meg. And as I say anything about the KL3 gen, it has been broken, but we still have this top mid 11 and main one to work around, so it's definitely still looking pretty respectable on the side of Coca. A nice pallet drop again from our Meg, but man, these guys are on top of their generators from the get-go, and Meg having a very, very strong chase thus far. Coca going to be vaulting that pallet. Meg's not going to be able to make the next one. I believe this should be our first down of the trial coming in here at about 1.5 minutes in. So a pretty fantastic start for Lapis, and Coca starting to fall behind a little.
Yeah, no, that was a really nice chase by the Meg, especially the use of that TNL back at 10. That was a really, really nice use of that. Being able to dodge that hit just a few times, and just Coca going for those, as you said, ambitious swings, just really not working out in their favor. But, you know, if you don't try, you'll never succeed, so it's definitely worth a shot. But we do see, we're going to check this 12 gen, actually nothing going on just yet, but it looks like camping in this situation, I don't know how I feel about it, because that was a pretty good chase by this Meg. So the question is, how much gen progress can the other team actually get done, especially with this 1 gen procced? It's going to be quite difficult to hold a 3 gen at this point. You don't really have one anymore, but regardless, it won't matter, because we see the Feng Min coming in for the save, and we're just going to go straight for the hit on that Meg, and we're going to try and actually go for the tunnel out here, see whether we can get Meg out of the game. We see the sidestep, being able to dodge the chase a little bit longer. We decide not to opt for the vault, and actually hits against, we get collateral damage, but because the Meg's already mended, it doesn't really do anything, so we will be avoiding that hit. But regardless, we're still going to keep on this chase for the Meg, and we do see her once again, and we're going to try and get her here, and we actually miss. She steps to the right.
That was quite an insane play from our Meg there, extending this chase out even further, and Coca is starting to lose his grip on this win condition here. I don't think Meg expecting that. Coca will be able to get the down. Very well played, but if they've jumped onto those gens, I mean, what's left of the remnant of a 3 gen up? Oh wait, no, wait, we still have a 3 gen here? Am I stupid? Wait, no, he just had like a crazy amount of gens topside. Wow, okay, well,
Yeah,
even the
look at
game
this
wanted
hill.
Coca to win this.
Look at this hill gen. That is horrific.
Yeah, no, this is a very good place for Coca to be, and he's actually still got a pretty solid foothold on this game. And he's going to be able to get a kick onto that gen there. Obviously, no pop goes the Weasel to get extra regression. He's going to be searching these lockers here, expecting a survivor to be stealthing nearby for this generator, but finds that they are not, and as a result will be returning back down towards this hook. They have popped those generators down towards the bottom side, And Koka has this very strong 3-gen to play up towards the top. So as long as he keeps his chases up here, he doesn't get too ambitious, then he will be sitting relatively proper here. And as a result, I think... Oh no, they're not going to let Meg die. They're actually going to take her off this hook here. And Koka is going to take the health state onto Claudette here, combining it with taking that endurance effect from the Meg, but I actually don't think he doesn't have time to chase this. That we know that 11 generator had quite a massive amount of progression, and we've got an eye filler to play around as well. Koka, I think you've got to drop chase here.
Yeah, no, you definitely do. RQ is not the one you want to be chasing right now. It's starting to become too much of an issue. You need to start going for those fresh stages. You got to make... Oh no, that is horrible. You've got to get that 7th stage, and it's just not going to happen. You need to drop this chase. At this stage in the game, with all the gens done, you need to find a fresh hooked survivor and hopefully find another one after that. But with not having no way out, oh, what was that? We actually see the vault coming. We actually saw the vault coming out. Meg going in. Oh, they were trying to run basement. Goodness. They actually tried to run basement. They heard the locker door open, so they gave the down on purpose.
There's no point.
Yeah, I mean, we've just essentially seen a 5-gen chase from our friend the Meg here, and that, as a result, will be Koka. Obtaining only 3 stages in the Mastermind set, we've definitely been shown why exactly Lapis picked this killer. Their survivors appearing to just be so strong against him, and that will be the first set point taken by Lapis as we jump on into this end game scorecard here. Next up, of course, we will be seeing Skirmish's pick, however, which will be the Spirit. So I'm very excited to see how that plays out, and you'll know the drill. A very short break, and we will be right back at you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Lapis vs Skirmish Japan, where we will see the 1-0 in favor of Lapis for the Mastermind set. But regardless, we are going to be moving on into the next set, which is the Spirit. We will be loading in. I am keen to see this one because Spirit is a really high action, fun, volatile killer, so it can go absolutely crazy at the best of times. But yeah, knowing that this is Skirmish's pick, I'm really hoping to see them put up a better fight as well.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited to see how they play this as well. I know Merit has been practicing Spirit a lot as of late, so I'm excited to see how they perform against such a well and long-standing team. That is Lapis here. We have an interesting build coming through on the Strider, making its way into competitive here. It has been a hot minute since I've seen a Strider Spirit at all in Dead by Daylight, ever since the Spirit nerf that came through, or the Strider nerf specifically that came through a good long while ago. All of my OGs will remember how painful it was playing against Strider Spirit, and I'm sure you do too, Stasi.
Yeah, no, oh my god, dude, definitely ages ago. I mean, man, that was one of those killers that was like, oh, you're taking Strider. Nah, like, I mean, I find a way to complain about everything. So definitely Strider was one of my biggest complaints. Like, oh, you're bad at Spirit, so you have to take Strider because, you know. But it's interesting. So it's interesting seeing it now because you really don't see it that much in the meta anymore because there are better options. But I really respect taking it back actually because I mean, it's interesting to see different perks and how they work out in the game. And obviously, you're playing Spirit and comp. You'd have to be relatively well versed. So yeah, it'll definitely be interesting because this is Skirmish's killer. So definitely interesting that Strider was the pick.
Yeah, no, Merit's going to be having a look around 1 here and trying to catch out a possible survivor and stealthing, but thus far, Lapis doing a fantastic job at keeping away from our Spirit, whilst also getting progression on the Generator's Corrupt at about 1/6 of its progress left remaining here. Any second it will be expiring and leaving Merit all by himself. We're going to be seeing some scratch marks here down towards deep 6, and we have caught out Rari-chan yet again. Our chase from last game, which I'm sure Koka has warned Merit against taking. We're going to be taking this hit onto Raru, and he will be breaking straight down towards that shack. And as a result, we'll be able to hopefully throw that shack pallet in time to extend this chase out even further. And that will be the stun on top of it. Merit forced to eat that one and try and get the down, as we are sitting in a relatively not so comfortable spot on the Spirit here. We really need to be hoping to see our first down a little bit sooner. Merit going to be making his way down, not quite able to hit Raru through that window. And this is starting to look very dire for the Spirit of Skirmish Japan already.
Dude, this Meg's just too strong. Like, she's been playing so well at both games. This Meg has been absolutely crushing it. And we actually see the Vault was able to hear the Spirit coming back around. This Meg is playing extremely well. Does not catch that read, though. Will be going down here with the point. But yeah, we will be seeing the first down and the first gen actually proccing in the distance. So interesting to see how much has been done. Getting a full gen out of a chase, getting a full 2 is always a position you're really happy to be in as survivors.
Yeah, no, and you'll notice actually Lapis has been targeting some key 3 gens already. The only reason 3 gens are still up across the board right now is due to the fact that Rek is now 4 spawns that Shack generator, which as a survivor team, it can feel like there's literally an unlimited combination of 3 gens that can spawn thanks to that. But we will be seeing Kasop here taking that hit and making his way up to save Raru off that hook, and that will be a trade being taken by Merit. And oh, actually, no, we're going to be entering the phase. We're going to be trying to tunnel this one. I definitely agree with this decision here. A tunnel out is what Merit needs to try and shut this game down as soon as possible. We have phased right onto the back of Raru, and this will be the down coming through. So now, Merit has switched a game that was not looking too fantastic to one that is sort of in his favor. And as I say that, we have seen a little bit of Caster's Curse. Raru will be hitting Merit with that decisive strike and holding that pallet, but sadly it will be the down yet again for Merit, and this will be our second stage on to our Meg, but well, I do imagine our survivors would have rotated to pick up Kasop by now, and I mean, yeah, no, Merit right back to the place he was in before, essentially.
I still like that decision, definitely. Even like if you were assuming that the Meg had the DS, still a really nice situation to be in because this Elodie is still down. We only just see her get up. So she has been doing nothing for ages besides bleeding out. So definitely nice to just slow the survivor team down, force someone to come over and get the heal. We actually see the heal connected, but yeah, we see the heal just connected, but the problem was that hit came in a millisecond after, so Merit unable to get the down onto this Megan. Actually seems like we've lost them completely. I'm not even sure what's happened here because we've just completely lost this survivor. We see the heal coming in again.
We'll make it. It is one hell of a perk, or at least it must be that, right? Like, that was a crazy fast heal, unless they literally ran to this car and were healing instantly. I don't know. I've got no bloody clue. We will be taking that hit on to our Claudia and continuing chase onto Raru here, who will make his way towards the shack. Our Spirit very intent on tunneling here, maybe still happy with the gens that he has. We're going to be phasing onto the back of Raru here. Will we be able to get this hit? Raru has bolted into Merit here, and as a result, we'll be able to run straight towards that deep 9 there. I imagine trying to play their life as long as physically possible here. I don't know if we still have this pallet. We don't, and I do think we have a deep 12 pallet to play around. On the side of Lapis, they have been able to pop 1 extra gen. We're down to 1 generator remaining, and Raru was just absolutely juicing. They've popped the 5th generator as well. They swung for the pallet, but Merit is just going to be getting juiced here. We're seeing Raru with the craziest chase of his life back to back on the games. He's going to be vaulting into that locker, and Merit is such the wrong one. He's getting locker juked, man. But I do think this will be yet another 3-stage from Lapis. If they have these gates open and ready to roll, then Lapis are coming in and they are making a statement.
Yeah, this is a real problem for Skirmish here. Having your pick as the Spirit and, yeah, really just struggling with this 3-stage again. Maybe just the wrong person to chase because this Meg did extremely well both games. Definitely a well-versed survivor, but that's someone I would be scared of in pubs. But regardless, we do see the 3-stage coming in, so it will be a bit of an uphill battle for Skirmish on the survivor side, but we'll see whether they can get it done as we'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello and welcome back in, all you beautiful, beautiful people, to the second half of our Spirit set. We saw an incredible survivor performance from Lapis, our Meg Raru just continuing to run and run and run for all those 5 generators, and it will result in a 3-stage game for the Spirit of Skirmish Japan here. So as we jump straight on into this match, we're going to be seeing the Spirit of Lapis against the survivors of Skirmish JP. We're actually going to be seeing Raru on the Spirit as well. bringing in a little bit of that no one escapes death eruption. Pop goes the weasel and corrupt intervention in combination with, of course, what I believe to be force add-ons now, the rusty flute and the cap, which is, I believe, phase recharge and phase speed, correct, Saz?
I have no idea. I don't know spirit add-ons.
No,
Sorry,
me neither, mate.
I don't really play killer that much. It's really embarrassing. Like whenever someone asks me, "Oh yeah, so what do you think about this add-on?" Yeah, I think it has a picture, and it's green. But sadly, add-ons really aren't something I'm good at. But I'm pretty sure it is recharge rate.
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure it is, but either way, as we jump on into this, we did catch out our sprint burst at him before on the side of Raru, but he didn't actually elect to chase, which is interesting. Maybe a sprint burst Deli combination isn't very popular in Japanese competitive scenes, so I'm not 100% sure why we'd exactly drop this chase, but it does look like we have found Koka yet again, but Raru not too interested in him, is going to be phasing onto the back of Miro, who's going to be able to throw that pellet in time and get some distance off that shack pellet, some textbook kind of spirit gameplay here. Raru going to be flicking around back towards our friend at 3. This is going to be Koka being caught out here, going to be taking a hit on the side of the Spirit here. Now we're going to be breaking away down towards this filler pellet here, which is all it looks like Koka has to play around in terms of trying to survive. We're going to be phasing through that pellet. Koka going to be doing a little bit of juicing. He's going to be running around at this little tile here, but I do think this does spell death for our friend, the Adam. That will be our first down of the trial coming in before Corrupt is even over. So already not a great start for Skirmish Japan, but I mean, the pressure of a 3-stage win con is definitely going to be getting to them.
Yeah, that's right. It is very difficult to hold on when you know that you've only got like 2 or 3 stages to play with before you lose. But it's such a good situation of mind for Raru to be in here, because you've got to know that, well, as long as I just down someone at the end of the game now, I just win. You know, I don't need to play that well. I just need to find someone, down them, camp them out. That's the game. Obviously, you want to do as best as you can. We actually see the hit miss on Meg. Obviously, you want to do as best as you can, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. So being able to just know that I just need a kill, easy. I'm happy with that. But regardless, we see the chase coming onto this Meg here. We see Megs today playing very, very well.
For the first time in forever.
First time in forever. But yeah, we do see Meg taking the chase all the way to the bottom side, actually being able to run across most of the map, possibly zoning themselves to a little bit of an awkward location here, is unable to make the hit and runs all the way back. And we actually see an Ada as well. We decide just to drop chase and go for this Ada instead, and we're going to try and cut him off, and works really well.
Yeah, no, Ray going to be taking that tag there and running straight down towards Deep 6. We still have Ivy injured, but of course they haven't had much time to reset. Some jukes coming through from Raru, and he will be able to get the down onto Ray as a result here. We don't want to be letting any fresh stages go through here. I hope Skirmish Japan is here for this pallet save. They are not. Oh, they were, but it will not come through. Koka's going to be eating the hit as well, and I believe the fresh point actually has already just pushed this through to a tie. On the side of our survivors, so that is already going to be the tie for our friend Raru-chan, and as a result, we're going to be taking this chase onto Koka, feeling pretty comfortable with the one more stage will be the win. We're going to be juking back and forth. Koka will fall for this one, but no, he won't. The hit won't come through that window, and Raru is going to be phasing straight through and getting the down onto Koka, whilst Ray is still on that hook. Skirmish, I think, pouring everything they had into that pallet gem, or that pallet save, sorry, at the filler pallet at the edge map, has now just conceded the victory to Lapis.
That's right, as the third stage comes through. It obviously was third stage for the last game, but due to the point system, that was just a 3-2 split. This was a 3-2 split, so we actually see the 1-point lead. But regardless, we will be seeing a pop goes the Weasel, Plunges Gen, and we actually see the down onto Ivy as well. Things are really falling apart for Skirmish here. Definitely a difficult situation to be in. Obviously, when you know that the WinCon is 3-2 stages, it's definitely puts that dent in your morale, but still trying to play the absolute best they can, because we do see the reset coming through onto the Ada as well, and it looks like that because of where Ivy was down, we're just going to decide to, we're just going to opt to sit here and get this Adam out of the game.
Yeah, no, Raru playing extremely well. We do have a savior coming in. Miro going to be trying to play for this unhook onto his friend Koka, and it looks like he's been able to slip past the Spirit. Very well played from our Leon there. the down will come through, and a pickup onto Ivy as well. We're going to be taking this fresh hook on the side of Lapis here. Going to be slapping him straight back up onto that hook and phasing right after Coco, who's hopefully made map-wide distance to try and get away. But whilst all this has been happening, we have very little gen pressure from the survivors of Skirmish. They are going to be playing around this dump truck here. If this is indeed Coca, it is an injured survivor. I'm not sure if it's our Adam. We're not going to be kicking that generator with that pop goes the Weasel, but did not wait for that eruption in case you didn't notice. And now we're going to be applying eruption onto this generator here at 2. Looking around, we do see some residual scratch marks here. This is going to be Ray on the Ada. Our Spirit going to be holding that phase and able to get the tag as well. Radu playing extremely well to get these hits and get these downs. Ray running straight up towards that top side over the map here, trying to, I guess, get away from any active generators that they may have, just crouching on that pallet. Maybe Skirmish JP have set up for another pallet save. Logically, it wouldn't make sense, but that will be our 5th hook of the trial coming through on to Ray. Radu playing extremely well thus far.
No, that's right. We're seeing extremely well-versed plays from the Spirit. Being able to just keep up that pressure, keep up the gen pressure as well, while getting all those downs is just something very good to watch. And it's interesting seeing how the different play styles come through from the Japanese scene. Definitely interesting seeing how they play. Like, as I said at the start of the stream, definitely see that there's a lot of trades that are happening, and this is no exception. There's just so many trades that occur in these games, which I do find really interesting, especially in a game where it's such a low win con. It's definitely very risky to do.
You know, I mean, I agree completely. I mean, it can be rough, right? I mean, I imagine you'll know, Stasi, how it feels to be in a situation like this where literally it feels like every possible decision you can make is the wrong one, and it will result in you losing. But, oh yeah, well, true that, yeah. Stasi just knows everything, and he will always be right.
Really.
Yep, no, me neither, honestly. I'm on something like, I think since 2016, I've been down a grand total of like 0.3 times. It's pretty crazy.
No, well, I've been down hundreds of times, but they're all from hackers.
Oh, yes. Nah, yeah, no, I'm the exact same, mate. That down will come through on to Ivy. So the game's just kind of falling apart in front of our very eyes. This will be our 7th hook of the trial coming through. Radu playing this extremely well. This will be a hook by the dump truck as well. Relatively dead zone, but it will be a fresh hook, so Ivy has plenty of time to chill on that hook while a reset comes through onto Ray. We're going to be making our way back up towards 11 here, where our crane has spawned. We've got a nice hilltop mid to play around. Radu not really too concerned about finding a survivor before he faces. He's actually swinging around that locker. Maybe he saw someone's head or something. I'm not 100% sure. Or just looking for a little bit of a clip there. The survivors of Skirmish JP, we have seen some residual scratch marks here. We've seen Leon's foot from behind that tire there. That will be a nice hit coming through onto Miro. And he will be dropping that pallet, but we all know how strong the Spirit is in playing around drop pallets. This should be the down coming through. Miro running around that, trying to extend his life out, but the unhook has come through onto Ivy. Ray still healthy. A reset coming through as well. I think Skirmish JP are just playing a bit of a hook trading game here, where they're not able to get much gen pressure in between each hook trade.
No, that's right. That's the thing. If you're able to keep up that, not even gen pressure, if you're able to keep up that hook pressure, keep people in chases, keep at least one person on hook for most of the trial, that will sort out your gen pressure. If you can just stop people from, getting those gens done, you have to come over, you have to heal. If you decide to let them sit on hook and give those stages away, once you do unhook them, they just die straight away, because if you come up to someone, second hook, they're just gone, especially when it's that early in the trial. It's just such a bad option to do, so you have to come and force yourself to slow the game down. And it's just a perfect example of the Spirit being able to get that passive pressure just from being so aggressive in the chases. It's extremely well played. But regardless, we do see trying to find another survivor, seeing if we can find this Meg or Ada. Wondering myself if there's another trade going to be coming in, but it doesn't seem to be looking like it, because we don't actually see it. No, I changed my mind. We've got Ada coming in, takes the hit, will go for the trade. We see the Ada going down. The question is, do we want the chase on this Leon? We do not. We are going to be going straight for this hook here. Ray will be going up on hook and will be out of the trial. We now just have Ivy and Miro left in the game, and it is just looking so rough right now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not looking too good for Skirmish JP. A very dire game for them. I'm not sure what that trade was for. I feel like we just lost the health state, but I mean, I digress. I'm not 100% sure. Oh my goodness. Raru getting a little bit auto-aimed onto that pallet. I wouldn't even say auto-aimed. He just hit an invisible wall. And we are seeing Ivy doing a little bit of juicing on these rocks here. This will be a hit coming through. That is now our final two survivors very injured. Raru very happy with his performance, is going to be giving us a bit of nodders here and phasing straight after Ivy to try and get this down. But Ivy is not ready to concede just yet. This will be the down. And we've just got Miro doing something over by that rock. I don't know, having a little bit of a party to himself. And this will be, I believe, our 2 slug coming through to confirm a 4K at 3 from Raru. So I mean, look at the difference, Stasi. A 4K 3 versus a 3 stage. I think Lapis are going to be very happy to take this win.
Yeah, they are. You can definitely, obviously, a lot of it does come down to that team composition where it is, you've got a team of well-versed comp players versus a team who just said, we'll play because the team dropped out. So it's definitely respectable to Skirmish for just putting their hands up and be like, look, we'll play. But yeah, we don't know how well we're going to do. And obviously this game didn't go the way that they planned, but massive respect to them for giving it their all. And yeah, we do see that the final result currently a 41-11. Yeah, as you said, it's just night and day difference. But yeah, Mirror up there actually at 1 when the chase was going on Ivy was interesting. Possibly some miscommunication as well. So there'll be a lot of things for Skirmish to improve on here, I think. A lot of oh, we actually see Unbreakable.
Going through, maybe looking for a bit of a hatch play. We've already used our Dead Hard on the side of Miro. But yes, I completely agree. My boys in Skirmish JP, well, my boys and girls in Skirmish JP have been on the grind recently. They really want to impress, and they have done a fantastic job for their first ever competitive games together. I'm very proud of them, and as we take this final chase onto Miro, we're going to be trying to apply a little bit of juice onto Raru like he did to Merit last game. But I do think this should be the down coming through onto our Leon, and that will wrap up our games between Lapis and Skirmish JP with a 2-0 from Lapis, a very clean 2-0, and Skirmish JP will be suffering that defeat here. So some very interesting, very good games here in the APAC Division.